Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24, live from Abuja. I am Stella Inamiti. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Tinubu arrives in Brasilia for a two-day state visit to Brazil after a TICAD conference in Japan. Alfred Mbega, sworn in as new Speaker of Benue State House of Assembly, pledges transparency and teamwork.
While maintaining our independence.
Federal government and partners train over 100 smallholder farmers in Kogi to boost food security and tackle climate change. Disability advocates mobilized 70 billion naira to establish farm cities for empowering persons with disabilities across Nigeria. Thanks for joining us. President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Brasilia for a two-day state visit to Brazil. The Nigerian presidential flight 001 landed at the Brasilia International Airport at about 12:30 a.m. local time. He was received by the Brazilian Secretary to Africa and the Middle East and with a military guard of honor. After his participation at the 2025 Tokyo International Conference on African Development, TICAD, President Tinubu departed Yokohama and had stopover in Los Angeles. President Tinubu's state visit follows a special invitation by the Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. While in Brazil, President Tinubu will hold a bilateral meeting with his host and attend a business forum with Brazilian investors. His delegation, comprising key ministers and senior officials, will explore opportunities to strengthen cooperation and sign agreements and memoranda of understanding with the Brazilian government. The member representing Makurdi North State constituency, Alfred Mbega, has been sworn in as the new Speaker of the Benue State House of Assembly following the resignation of former Speaker Andona Dajo. The Speaker, who presided after taking oath of office, said transparency and teamwork will be his guiding principles and sued for their support and cooperation. Assembly correspondent Grace Ichekba reports.
The emergency sitting commenced with the recall of 4 members of the Assembly who were suspended on Friday, 22nd August 2025. Thereafter, the House proceeded with the reading of the resignation letter submitted to the House by the former Speaker and member representing Boko East constituency, Andona Dajo.
I rise to resign my position as the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, effective today, 24th August 2025. This is done in good faith and in the best interest of the state.
Members in their contributions commended the leadership qualities of Mr. Andona Dajo, describing him as a team player and humble personality.
We miss his time, but the good thing is that we are consoled because he's still with us. He's still with us, he's with us. He will continue to advise us, he will continue to guide us, and continue to be with us.
The House proceeded to the nomination of a new Speaker, and unanimously, Mr. Alfred Mbega, representing Makurdi North constituency, emerged.
That I will devote
Myself to the service,
myself in the service
to the good people of Benue
to the
State.
good people of Benue State.
So help me God.
So help me God.
The new Speaker, Mr. Alfred Mbega, assured members of inclusive leadership and fairness in carrying out his constitutional duties.
The House, under my watch, will work harmoniously with the executive and judiciary while maintaining our independence.
The House adjourned sitting to Tuesday, 26th August 2025 for plenary. In Makurdi, Grace Anyalewa, Ichekpa, NTA News.
Still from Benue State, management of the Ministry of Education has adopted some policies with a view to emancipating the masses. A statement by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Helen Nambative Zeramo, indicates that unpopular use of restricted customized education materials such as text and exercise books making non-transferable to subsequent learners is abolished. All schools, both public and private, have been directed to revert immediately to the traditional passing of such materials from senior students to learners to the junior ones. Compulsory and extended lessons after normal regular school hours cease, except with the consent of parents or guardians. All compulsory school graduation ceremonies are abolished, especially for nursery and basic schools. The statement adds that the implementation of the policies should be strictly adhered to upon the commencement of the 2025-2026 academic year. Ahead of a 6-day trade mission, Nigerian businessmen based in European countries have received Chinese investors upon their arrival in Nigeria to deepen relations and unlock opportunities across sectors for industrial growth and shared prosperity. Tokwe Alabi has more.
These Chinese businessmen, drawn from different sectors, are visiting Nigeria for the first time, and their mission is to strengthen bilateral investment and unlock trade opportunities with the promise of a future defined by innovation. Nigeria's economic hub is widely recognized as the epicenter of African science, technology, and entrepreneurship, home to a thriving ecosystem of fintech leaders, e-commerce pioneers, and digital innovators.
We want to develop our nation. We don't have a choice. We are building a nation based on industrial power and industrial strength, and we are bringing in partners that are capable of helping us to develop our country, to grow our economy, create jobs, and complement the President's efforts in building this great country again.
With Nigeria being the gateway to West Africa's 400 million strong market, there are expectations that Chinese companies will be looking forward to invest in renewable energy, agro-processing, digital infrastructure, robotics, and artificial intelligence, paving way for inclusive prosperity.
Yeah, this is my first time in Nigeria. It's such a great pleasure, and we are looking for market opportunities for Chinese investment and for Chinese business to expand in Nigeria, also to expand in Africa via Nigeria, this gateway for Chinese investment and business to have a better growth in this new emerging continent.
While in Nigeria, the Chinese team will visit the World Trade Center and hold strategic dialogue with the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, as well as communications, innovation and digital economy.
We are looking at collaborating with a minimum of 12 Chinese companies to invest in different sectors of the economy, in infrastructure, in agriculture, in tech, in manufacturing, and so much more.
The Nigeria-China Trade Mission 2025 represents more than a commercial exchange, but an invitation to build a sustainable, technology-driven and inclusive economic future. In Abuja, Tokwe Alabi, NTA News.
The Nigeria Police Force has repatriated a high-profile Chinese fugitive, Dei Jinshen, in a landmark operation executed through the Interpol National Central Bureau, Abuja. A statement by the force notes that the successful repatriation carried out in collaboration with Interpol NCB Beijing and the Embassy of the People's Republic of China in Nigeria underscores the force's unwavering commitment to tackling transnational organized crime. Jinshen, a notorious gang leader wanted in China for orchestrating violent organized crimes, fled his country in 2024 to evade arrest by the Public Security Bureau of Jihin County. He was tracked and apprehended in Abuja on 8th August 2025 and repatriated to Beijing on 15th August under the framework of police-to-police cooperation coordinated by Interpol. The Inspector General of Police, Olukayode Egbetekun, describes the operation as a strong message to global crime networks that Nigeria does not serve as a hiding place for fugitives. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has made major breakthroughs in its nationwide war against illicit drugs. arresting a widow who attempted to traffic cocaine using a fake pregnancy disguise. In a week-long operation spanning multiple states, NDLEA operatives also intercepted 75,000 kilograms of cannabis, seized hundreds of thousands of opioid pills, and dismantled large-scale drug farms in Delta, Ondo, Edo, and Taraba states. Here are the details.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has arrested a 50-year-old widow, Ifeoma Henrietta Ezewike, for attempting to traffic 1.3 kg of cocaine using a fake pregnancy disguise. The fashion designer was nabbed at a Lagos bus terminal en route to Abuja, with a follow-up search of her residence uncovering drug-cutting agents. She confessed to inheriting the illicit trade from her late husband. In Lagos, operatives intercepted 90 parcels of loud cannabis hidden in kitchen sinks at a courier firm. In Abuja, 2 dispatch riders were busted distributing pentazocine injections and skunk. Meanwhile, NDLEA agents in Adamawa raided the home of a wanted drug kingpin, recovering over 350,000 pills of tramadol and arresting his associates. Massive seizures continued across several states. In Kano, multiple arrests were made and over 450,000 pills of opioids recovered, including pregabalin, tramadol, and codeine syrup. In Kogi, a woman was caught trafficking opioids across the river Niger, while large quantities of cannabis were intercepted in Kwara and Ekiti states, with several suspects in custody. In forest operations, NDLEA teams, sometimes backed by military support, destroyed vast cannabis farms in Delta, Ondo, Taraba, and Edo states, wiping out over 75,000 kg of skunk hidden across plantations and warehouses. NDLEA Chairman Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa commended officers nationwide for their diligence and urged them to sustain their balanced drug control efforts.
This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. More reports in a moment. Stay tuned.
Component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology, seamlessly blending performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African roads.
This is NTA News 24.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. A team of the Center for Strategic Research and Studies under the National Defense College is partnering UN Women to raise awareness of women at the military barracks to provoke positive action in the fight against gender-based violence, especially rape. Tokme Alabi reports that the team launched a Break the Silence campaign rallies at some of the military barracks in Abuja, including Ushafa, Mambila, Mogadishu, among others.
Nigerian women suffer violence from home, workplace, and community. These women are mothers, daughters, sisters, and wives who endure daily suffering because abuse and exploitation are often not reported. And with passing days, they are implicitly told that their suffering doesn't matter and their rights disregarded. FIDA Nigeria 2024 statistics showed that nearly 1 in 3 aged 15 to 49 women has experienced violence. And for this team from the Center for Strategic Research and Studies under the National Defense College, safe spaces and stronger communities are needed to break silence and end abuse.
A 4-year-old child, her mother sent her out to get something within the barracks, and she was raped to the extent that she had to be stitched. And till now, nothing has been done about it. They couldn't identify the perpetrators.
There's a lot of things going on now, and it's time to break the culture of silence. People need to speak out. Yes, rape is real and it is not right.
We are going to do our best. And anytime that we see our children with uncles or some even aunties,
funny aunties,
the way that they rape our children, now people that they keep quiet. But now we will not keep quiet. Anytime that we see such thing, we are going to talk it out.
These awareness at some military barracks in Abuja, including Ushafa, Mambila, Mogadishu, among others, is a reminder of the shared responsibility to be the change and protect others.
I am happy for this program, that God used people to organize this program for our children, for the adults, to train them. When anybody has them to do the wrong thing, with this lecture, they can be able to cope.
Because of the way we live in the barracks, it will enable our children to learn more concerning sexual abuse. And we're encouraging the institutions to see how we can equip an office, specifically for sexual and gender abuse, so that these cases can be reported and perpetrators can also be brought to justice.
For the group, the message is for everyone to be on the same page in the fight against sexual abuse. In Abuja, Tokpe Alabi, NTA News.
There seems to be more sunshine for the community of persons with disabilities, as disability advocates are being deliberate in their response to inclusivity and empowerment for PWDs. Gufan Shaji Ugwanyi reports that this time around, 70 billion naira is being mobilized to build farm cities across the 6 geopolitical zones to engage PWDs in entrepreneurial skills.
Joshua Omale is a wheelchair user who sits at the gates of the Federal Secretariat, Abuja. As a person with disability, he says navigating through daily living is quite challenging.
Sometimes you want to get a vehicle, it's not everyone that will carry you on his vehicle because he's looking at how can I carry this man. A lot of our people on the street who come out so that they can give them, provide what they need from them. It's not money. Everything is not money. Teach them what to do, teach them some skill, give them something that they can do to come out from the street.
However, the community of persons with disabilities might be heaving a sigh of relief as the Peace for Humanity Foundation presents a 70 billion naira mobilization fund initiative to the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
We are here for your collaboration to mobilize 70 billion naira funds for the establishment of persons with disability farm cities in the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. We are targeting persons with disabilities because persons with disabilities have enormous talent and economic potentials in them that need to be included at all spheres of national development.
If they have things doing, if they are farming, cultivating and producing their own food, I bet you that 70% of these beggars will be off the streets.
As a commission, we will grant full participation to this and similar efforts that aim at empowering our community.
With this firm commitment, the likes of Omale and the community of persons with disabilities will be able to cater for their financial needs and will no longer have to survive off handouts. In Abuja, Gufan Shaji Ugwanyi, NTA News.
The Nigerian Communication Satellite has engaged the telecom, ICT, broadcasting and tech experts on how best to create a partnership model. This was at the relaunch of the satellite's distributor and reseller partner program in Lagos. Lanre Gbeleyi has details.
The unveiling of NigeComSat powered Nigerian communication satellite as a commercial version, which has high-compact co-creation opportunities, has now positioned the company as a modern digital infrastructure powerhouse for gathering strategic feedback from market leaders in telephone, broadcast, and internet service.
We recognize the fact that to deliver our mandate as a government entity providing satellite services that wants to be the preferred satellite service provider in Nigeria and in Africa, we cannot do it alone. The best way to reach our mandate at scale is to do it together with partners.
Discussion amongst these satellite service providers centered around partnering with NigeComSat, reselling NigeComSat, easy or hard, pricing and incentives that will work for business, and the support system needed as a partner.
We want a business model that not just reflects something indigenous, but something that is private driven, just like they currently are.
It can work. I mean, we've seen the Nigerian LNG work, and it is purely a Nigerian company, but it's being run by the private JV partners. And I think that's what they need. They need to bring in partners to help them run it efficiently.
NigeComSat is a Nigerian company created in 2006 under the supervision of Federal Government Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy to improve access to nationwide satellite coverage, powering government and enterprise sector in emerging markets, and cross-sector application in education, health, fintech, and rural commerce. In Lagos, Larry Bileyi, NTA News.
Chairman of MSM Group, a Nigerian conglomerate active in oil and gas, fertilizers and agriculture, Mairawani Muazzam, has denied allegations of financial impropriety by pressure group, the Oduduwa Transparency Network. Mairawani, at a press conference in Abuja on Sunday, said it had filed complaints to the relevant authorities and is cooperating with ongoing investigations, describing the allegations against MSM as baseless and an orchestrated attempt to tarnish the reputation of a company built on transparency and excellence. MSM Group chairman noted the presidential backing has emboldened his conglomerate to expand and attract fresh investment, leading to the discovery of oil reserves valued at about $15 billion in one asset alone.
Left oil and gas for the 4 years until President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came into power. And I approached him and asked his support to MSM Group on how we can enhance Nigeria's production by 1 million barrels additional to what NNPC is producing. We have gotten the approval from Mr. President, and I'm glad to tell you that we haven't let Mr. President down, because in one of the assets the NNPC handed over to us, they gave us that asset with a reserve of 118 million barrels. 118 million barrels. But in less than 6 months of our commitment to that asset, we went back to them and told them that we have found additional 126 million barrels for them. So the total of that asset now is no more 118 million barrels, it's 244 million barrels.
Mairawani thanked Nigerians and international partners for their support, assuring that the conglomerate would continue to contribute to national development, create jobs, and improved livelihoods, as allegations will not distract the group from delivering excellence across its business operations. As part of federal government's efforts towards achieving food security in Nigeria, its partnership with AIDS Care Education and Training Society Nigeria are training more than 100 smallholder farmers towards addressing climate change, prevent land degradation, and improve crop production and animal husbandry in Agbada and Ovulufu communities in Dekina local government area of Kogi State. Ayodele Igbibemi reports that the project is supported by the United Nations Development Programme, Small Grant Programme, and Global Environment Facility.
The training of over 100 smallholder farmers on improved crop production and animal husbandry by AIDS Care Education and Training Society, ASET Nigeria, is to improve food security through climate-smart agriculture and promote environmental sustainability in vulnerable communities. Flagging off the training, Dr. Matthew Habila of the Small Grant Program, representing the United Nations Development Program and the Global Environment Facility at the training, urges participants to utilize the opportunity as they are committed to providing both technical and financial support for community-based innovations and empowerment.
The goal is actually to see how the communities at grassroots level practice what they have learned, train others, and see how they can do it sustainably.
Executive Director ASET Nigeria, Sunday Akagu Musa, explained that the training is targeted at increasing knowledge sharing and community resilience, as well as increased farm yield and household income in community.
Farming can go beyond subsistence farming to taking farming as a business.
Get into commercial farming where it can bring a lot of income.
These people have told us a lot of things that we need to do in order to increase our productivity.
At Olofo community in the Kina local government area, the representative of the Federal Ministry of Environment, Zachary Naibi Suleiman, and ASET Nigeria team enlighten and train the people on how to take advantage of their environment.
The training is part of federal government commitment, particularly Federal Ministry of Environment, to build communities against climate change.
The 9-month project from June 2025 to February 2026 is also expected to conduct research on cashew value chain development and establish 2 climate-smart agricultural learning centers, among other impacts to the rural communities. Ayodele Ibigbemi, NTA News.
And it's time now for another break. More reports when we return. Stay with us.
Let's have credible elections at the local government so that these credible people can manage the funds of local government properly.
There are a lot of respected traditional rulers in the state who can say, look, enough of this thing. Mr. Governor, welcome. Thank you for coming. When you win, what will you do?
I was the first woman that mobilized women within the local government to form the National Council of Women Society, by creating awareness in women that they must serve, they must be part of what is happening within their community.
If you stop expenditure on infrastructure, how do you now attract investments?
The state governors, the presidency, that the federal government and the local government are all waiting for revenue from crude oil. Every state has something peculiar. So the emphasis now, if your local government has something peculiar to that particular local government, the emphasis should be keep producing that particular product.
We need to do 3 things. Prevent the ability of the terrorist groups to generate funding, their ability to recruit, and then their ability to access weapons.
The traditional ruler gives me a title. I sit in the front row in the church, or if I'm going to mosque and I'm calling people are passing in God's own house. What am I doing? I'm mentoring a new generation who think that the only way to be taken seriously is to be seen to have a lot of money.
Morning Nigeria, live every weekday between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. on the network service of the NTA.
Thanks for staying. A national policy forum of stakeholders held in Abuja is seeking to institutionalize the implementation of homegrown school feeding program as Nigeria targets 20 million children for sustainable economic growth and financial inclusion. Tokwe Alabi reports that the event was convened by the Presidential Committee on Economic and Financial Inclusion, the Renewed Hope National Homegrown School Feeding Program, with support from the Nigeria Governors Forum and partners.
As part of Nigeria's educational investment and national security strategy, with a target of reaching 20 million children by 2026, the Homegrown School Feeding Program is designed to improve school enrollment, learning outcomes, and create a guaranteed daily market for smallholder farmers, women entrepreneurs, and local processors.
It's not only targeted to students, it's also targeted to local communities that they can develop foods that can be sourced locally.
This Policy Forum is for stakeholders to strategize on the roadmap for the institutionalization and implementation of the homegrown school feeding program, especially working towards enacting an act that guarantees continuity across political cycles while clearly defining federal, state, and local government roles within a cost-sharing framework.
But the truth remains that development partners should complement and not substitute domestic ownership.
So if we are feeding these children in primary 1 to 3, we are not feeding the early years, then we are missing something. So if we truly want return on investment, we must feed early years, primary 1 to 3, then primary 4 to 6.
The Presidential Committee on Economic and Financial Inclusion is under the Office of the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, and was represented at the engagement.
Nigeria's relaunch places us at the forefront of this regional movement, where political commitment, sustainable financing, and multi-sector coordination are the levers that lift outcomes.
Discussants at this engagement believe a national nutrition guideline for homegrown school meals aligns with international best practices, which must be developed and implemented.
This committee is vested with the constitutional oversight powers for effective legislative inputs to ensure that the National Homegrown School Feeding Program is implemented with ease.
What they are saying here now is a thing that is going on in Osun, and even we do the warm our pupils twice in a year.
The tone of it is quite serious and focused, so I see that we are ready for action.
This conversation is basically to improve health and educational outcomes of public primary school pupils by providing nutritious midday meals using locally sourced farm produce. In Abuja, Tokwe Alabi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigeria Governors Forum has made 4 senior-level appointments spanning human capital management, security, economic policy, and communication, pursuant to the engagement of Deloitte by the Nigeria Governors Forum to re-engineer the Secretariat and strengthen its operational processes. In a statement signed by its Director Media and Strategic Communications, Yunusa Tanko Abdullahi, said the initiative is in line with its core mandate as a subnational policy hub and resource center to conduct a comprehensive organizational transformational review. The statement further outlined the scope to include an extensive assessment of organizational systems, human resources, and operational procedures to ensure that the NGF functions in line with international best practice and remains focused on priority areas aligned with its strategic vision. UNISA said following the acceptance of Deloitte's final report, NGF has appointed and added accomplished professionals to drive critical directorates and advisory functions within the Secretariat. Each appointee brings a proven record of excellence in their field, a deep understanding of Nigeria's governance and development priorities, and the expertise needed to translate strategic reforms into measurable results. Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Professor Nantawe Yilwada, has commended the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu in transforming the lives of Nigerians through impactful initiatives and projects. The national chairman made the commendation during a working visit and first phase flag-off of the Renewed Hope Empowerment Program in Bayelsa State, where hundreds of women and youths were empowered. Ibinimi Zitimiyola reports.
The Renewed Hope Empowerment Program, flagged off in Bayelsa State by the APC National Chairman, is in furtherance of President Bola Tinubu's drive to improve the lives and livelihoods of citizens. Hundreds of women and youth went home with mini buses, deep freezers, generating sets, chillers, cash gifts, and more.
Animal lobbied for it, but God did it. It's divine.
I want to also appreciate the Renewed Hope agenda for finding us worthy for this great honor.
We need to provide a safety net for our people. That is why we decided to get a few buses to empower our people,
so that they can use it to add value to their businesses.
So we believe that this will go a long way in empowering our people.
This is not just limited to what we have seen here today. They are taking this to every local government in Bayelsa. Nigeria today, look at NELFund scheme. NELFund scheme is meant for students.
The APC national chairman and key stakeholders commended the community development initiatives and other support groups for the gesture. The president's love for the state and achievements in infrastructure, education, transportation, and the diversification of the economy for sustainable growth were highlighted.
And that's the principle of the Renew Hope agenda. Taking governance, every home, every life, every person, to the weak, to the strong, to the vulnerable.
Mr. President's Renewed Hope agenda is working, and the people of Bayelsa State are appreciative of what Mr. President has done.
In NDC, we define the renewed hope as the social contract that is translating ideas and vision into reality. And this is to show what we are doing here today is transmitting ideas and vision to reality.
We are going to return President Bola Tinubu in 2027.
The APC chairman, alongside other members of the APC Working Committee, had earlier met with the Bayelsa State Executive and key stakeholders, where they were warmly received by party faithful. Ebinemi Zitemiola, NTA News.
From research, Nigeria's population of over 220 million, with a growth rate of 2.5% per annum, requires about 550,000 units in the next 10 years to meet the housing deficit. This will require about 5.5 trillion naira every year to fix. In this report, housing correspondent Francis Udojo takes a look at the deliberate efforts being taken by the federal government to meet the housing needs of Nigerians.
Shelter is an important part of human needs. However, the concern is that many in developing countries, including Nigeria, do not have the financial muscle to afford a decent home. This is coupled with decades of limited access to affordable financing and home ownership opportunities for majority of Nigerians. In view of this, the President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope housing program in the last 2 years have shown deliberate effort through actionable policies in reducing the country's estimated 28 million housing deficit. This initiative is being implemented by the Minister of Housing, Ahmed Musa Dangiwa. The Renewed Hope housing plan is characterized into 3 categories. First is the Renewed Hope cities, designed to have at least 1,000 housing units each in major urban centers. Secondly, the Renewed Hope estates of 250 housing units in every state capital, designed for middle-income Nigerians, while the Renewed Hope social housing estates is to deliver 100 affordable homes in each of the Nigeria's 774 local government areas, targeting the most vulnerable Nigerians.
The political will of my president, he has given us all the political will. Once he appoints you as a minister, he ensure that he put you at the right place where you could perform. So once you have that political will, there's nothing you cannot do for you.
We have been well funded towards achieving these mandates, and we have these projects ongoing all over the country.
Data from the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics indicates that policies made within 2 years of President Tinubu's administration moved real estate sector from top 5 to top 3 largest sector, where the real estate industries are the largest employers of labor and economic drivers. The ministry made public-private partnerships, PPPs, key to implementing large-scale affordable housing and urban development interventions. Under the PPP framework arrangement, the ministry is working towards delivering 100,000 units with consortium of developers. Under Phase 1, the ministry aimed at delivering 7 Renewed Hope cities targeting the FCT, Lagos, Kano, Maiduguri, Enugu, Port Harcourt, and Nasarawa. Construction is already in progress with close to 12,000 housing units underway. In the FCT, 3,112 units, Lagos, 2,000 units, and Kano, 2,000 units, among others.
In housing, we realize that you cannot rely solely on the budgetary allocation. If that's the hit, that is the hit, you know. There is constraint to what the government can fund for you. But there is a PPP, public-private partnerships, to which we have collaborated to ensure that we upscale the performance of PPP to ensure that we work together.
In my state, he said 500 units should be started in Kano State, maybe because of our population and the importance to Mr. President. So Kano people, we need to appreciate him.
So one of the things that we have seen under the present administration of the current president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is his pragmatic approach to see how private sector can drive economic growth.
The housing types include apartment buildings with 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units, as well as terraces, duplexes, and bungalows with housing portal made available for off-takers.
Those houses are organic in nature, and so that if you can't afford 3 bedrooms, please pick the 2 bedrooms. And then you manage it up to a certain time when you can afford to add another 1 bedroom by constructing 2 walls and roofing it. Then it becomes a 3 bedrooms. This is one way we are doing, and we ensure that even access to the houses are made easy and accessible for Nigerians.
In terms of budgetary allocation, the federal government appropriated the sum of 126.5 billion naira being part of the 2023 budget and the 2024 supplementary budget for the housing project. Meanwhile, the National Assembly secured an additional 50 billion naira for the ministry's 2025 budget, with achievements also being recorded in national land administration and tilting, reforms in land administration to simplify property ownership, and commitment to establishing a real estate regulatory authority, as well as building materials manufacturing hubs. Government say housing deficit would be greatly reduced in the country soon. Francis Udojo, NT News.
Now, Jigawa State plays host to the 3rd National Quran Recitation Competition organized by Medina-based Al-Huzafi Quran Kirat Award, providing a platform for the young Nigerian Muslims to compete for the Award of Excellence. The event is drawing participants and enthusiasts from far and near, all united by the desire to celebrate the Holy Quran and its teachings. Mohammed Musa Askira reports.
For the next 9 days, Jigawa will be at the center of global Quranic scholarship as young Muslims across Nigeria engage in a keen context of knowledge, recitation, and understanding of the Holy Quran. The governor, who underscored the vital role of Quranic recitation in nurturing a just, responsible, and righteous society, stressed that true adherence to the Quran remains a solid foundation for social and economic developments in Nigeria. The governor also used the platform to highlight Jigawa State government's ongoing efforts to reform the Almajiri system. According to him, special integrated schools are being established across the 3 senatorial districts of the state to combine Islamic and Western education with skill acquisition.
We felt it is important to sponsor this program because we believe that Al-Quran Karim, we have a program in Jigawa State that is the Sangaya system, which we intend to use as a means of reducing the out-of-school children in Jigawa State. And by these 3 institutions we are establishing, one in each of the 3 senatorial districts, we are hoping that these schools will provide numeracy and literacy, will provide a Quranic education, and also will provide.
We have strong faith that with this kind of initiative, our society will be transformed into one of the good moral behavior.
He emphasized that the goal is to transform Almajiri children from street beggars into productive, knowledgeable, and God-fearing citizens capable of contributing meaningfully to national growth. Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Here is a recap of our top stories. President Tinubu arrives in Brasilia for 2-day state visit to Brazil after TICAD conference in Japan. Alfred Mbaga sworn in as new Speaker of Benue State House of Assembly. Pledges transparency and teamwork.
With the executive and judiciary while maintaining our independence.
Older farmers in Kogi to boost food security and tackle climate change.
This is the network service of the NTA. We now join our outside broadcast crew for a live telecast. Please stay tuned.